This is a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. The problem is the AC blower stopped blowing.
The blower motor is located underneath the passenger side, underneath the glove box. So whenever you take anything electrical apart, you're going to want to disconnect the black wire, the negative.
I already took off the blower motor and tested it on the battery, just hooked up a wire to it, and it's working. The bit I used to remove the blower motor was this number 25 Torx bit, and that connector right there tends to heat up because it doesn't connect properly, so it shorts. Depending on what model you actually have, there's two different ones, manual and auto. I actually have the auto version, if you can see the audio right there, and there is a manual version. I guess you adjust the manual controls and it doesn't have the auto presets. But there are two different parts, so just know which part you're actually getting, manual or auto, before you buy it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove that module right there, just the two Phillips head screws. I actually looked for that model number online. I couldn't find it. I guess it's a different part now.
Yeah, I just found some scrap wire. I'm just going to go ahead and try to attach it to the plug right, where'd it go? This right here, and just feed this wire through here. So when I put the new one in, I can just pull the wire back throughout, and so I can refeed it. Okay, I've attached it to that black and red wire that connects to the blower motor from the resistor. I'm going to feed it through right now. Okay, I fed it through, and it's kind of short wire, so maybe having a longer wire might help, but it worked. So when I put the new one on, I'll just pull it through the other way, and hopefully that will go through without getting hung up inside there. And if it does, I'll just find a way of mounting connect the wire somewhere in there, just tying up a tie wrap or something. Not a big deal. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this. Let me try to find a light in there. Alright, it looks like there's already melting right there where the connector was from the car. So that's a bad sign that this, well, it's a good sign that this is probably the problem. Okay, see that? So I'm just going to stick a flathead screwdriver under here and pop this up a little bit, the plastic, without breaking it, and take off the cover. It's a little tricky getting that off. I'm going around, so far I got two off. I just use like a vice grip and been trying to pry it off, but it seemed to be hanging up right on the next one, and it seemed to be glued or something, I don't know. But I'm going to take the vice grip off of this side and put it on the other side and see if I can make any difference. Yeah, it was pretty. There's a lot of glue on that, so it was sticking to the side of the case. It was making it very difficult to take it off. So use another star connector there and there, or Torx, whatever they call them, and see if I can take this panel off and see if there's any melt and damage. It looks okay on as far as the board is. I want to see what looks underneath the board. But it's not. Yeah, I don't know yet. But right here is where I was talking about the melting. So it's, melting right there. And this wire right here, the wire connector that goes there. So we'll see what that is. When I take this board off, I'm going to go find which connector it is. Okay, it does look like a number 10 Torx bit. That's what they're called, star bit, whatever. I'm a professional, just a amateur trying to tinker around with things. Fix a lot of things. Anyways, yeah, so that's what it is, a number 10 Torx, I think. Okay. See, one of them kind of looks brown. Oh, my focus is not working on my camera. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So the pin on the left, there's 1, 2, 3. One's a little bit darker in color. I'm assuming that has, I don't know. The board really looks okay. So I'm gonna try just replace the part. It's a very expensive part. It's a $100 part. I'm going to look at the connector that connects into there, see if that's melted. That's also another possibility. If it's melted, maybe it wasn't getting good contact to begin with, so maybe if I just jiggle that, it might work. Maybe I'll put this back together and see, mess with that wire, since it seems to be one that has some concerning, melting on the plastic right there. So, alright, I'm going to start there. This clip right here that connects, I can't remember what those are called, some sort of maybe resistors, and the heat sink together. Comes off, so it's going to have to be pushed all the way back down. They had so much glue on here that was kind of preventing, so I had to pull it away so it's flush. So took it apart, and so that's flush. What does concern me is, man, this wire gets so close to that. Looks like it could wear and ground out or something, but there's no on the red wire I'm talking about, there's no breaks in it, but it's just the way it's laid in here. It looks like it could wear or short out somehow, but I guess that's not it. That's not a problem, but it's just so tight in there. This, the wire. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to test it out and just wiggle that wire that connects to this 3-pin and see if that works. The J3 is the one I was saying looked like it burnt. The plastic, and it has a little bit of discoloration really close on the circuit board. On the backside about the same kind of thing, but the J3 looks like it's had a little bit of discoloration.
Well, looking at the connector, they look like they're too wide. They're not actually touching the connector pins that are on the module, the board. So it looks like I'll just go ahead and stick a small screwdriver in there between them and kind of try to bend them out and make that closure a little bit tighter. So that's what I'll do.
Just try one of these little screwdrivers and kind of play at the pins, because they kind of like, they're like, look at my hand, they're like this. If I bend it back over like that, it will touch the connector better. So what I'm going to do is just try to bend the connector to look shaped like that on the inside of this. If you took it apart, you'll know what I'm talking about. See, this is my connector. See how it's starting to melt the side of the plastic on there? So what I did is I pulled this little flat pin, flat piece of metal. I put the screwdriver in between them and pulled it out, so they kind of stick out now against the other side of the back there, and did that on all 3 of them, and it worked. Let me tell you, I spent like 5 minutes trying to get that through. I had to reach my fingers up there and kind of like unwedge it, try to put some tape on there to help it coming through with the wire, but maybe more. It seems like the wire I used worked pretty good to pull that through, but that's very hard. Just so I just wanted to film that, but I had to reach my finger up inside there and kind of wiggle it around to get it hung up. I'm sure you can just tie wrap it off if you don't end up getting it back through there. But yeah, that was the hardest part of the whole thing. One thing I did want to note when I tied it on there is I put it between the wires so it actually wouldn't come off. I didn't just wrap it around and tie a knot. I actually put it between the wires and tied it, and then wrap the excess around it, because you don't want to lose it up in there and get it jammed or whatever. But yeah, so I did that. You really want to secure it. You want to have a smooth kind of path so it can go across. So obviously if you maybe tape it off a little bit better than I did, it might go a lot easier. But it's blowing. So so that did it.